Shortly after midnight on May 7th, Indian air assets carried out strikes inside Pakistan and Pakistani-controlled Kashmir. In response, Pakistani fighter jets launched a counterattack, leading to a significant aerial engagement in which aircraft were shot down, including Rafales. A week later, confirmations indicate that at least 6 Indian combat jets were downed by Pakistani fire. This video compiles available data to present a likely sequence of events explaining how the battle unfolded. Some analysts now describe it as the largest air battle in modern times. The video examines how India lost its prestigious Rafale aircraft to Chinese-made J-10 jets and why this moment could mark a shift in the history of air combat. According to reports, between 12:35 and 1 a.m. Pakistan Standard Time, Indian munitions struck 14 target sets across 9 locations in Pakistan and Pakistani-administered Kashmir. These strikes were mostly conducted by the Indian Air Force, launching from near the border. Despite possessing ground-launched cruise missiles and longer-range options, India relied heavily on shorter-range weapons, including French-made hammer bombs and Israeli spice bombs, according to Indian sources. Some Scalp cruise missiles were launched from Rafales, and a few air-launched BrahMos missiles from Sukhoi jets were used. However, most of the payload involved cheaper guided bombs, suggesting India treated the operation as a limited punitive strike rather than a mission that would provoke Pakistani retaliation. Post-operation reports, including a Pakistani military briefing, suggest the air operation spanned over an hour. However, this duration refers to the full engagement timeline, from Pakistan detecting the Indian strike force to the final aerial disengagement. It does not imply a full hour of continuous missile fire. Before bomb deployment, strike packages must be assembled. This includes aircraft carrying bombs or missiles, fighter escorts, possible aircraft for suppressing enemy air defenses, SEAD, AWACS-type support planes. These assets launch from different bases and must coordinate to form strike formations. Aircraft maintain spacing to avoid collisions, but stay close enough for mutual protection. According to Pakistani military sources, initial Indian formations included 60 aircraft, which later grew to 72 during the operation. CNN, citing Pakistani officials, reported up to 125 Indian aircraft airborne at one point. The Pakistani briefing confirmed 72 Indian and 42 Pakistani planes, totaling 114. With varying detection thresholds and support aircraft included, estimates reaching 120 seem plausible. Indian formations were geographically spread out. The distance between the northernmost and southernmost targets was 600 kilometers, with air formations potentially stretching across 900 kilometers along the border. Pakistan reported 4 separate Indian groupings, each attacking from a different axis, spaced 200 to 300 kilometers apart. Such distances would make timely mutual support among formations difficult during missile exchanges. Each group had its own strike, escort, and a CAD elements, optimized for specific targets. Retasking aircraft mid-mission would compromise protection and success rates. Assembling such a strike force takes time. If weapons struck targets at 12:35 a.m., Indian jets likely took off at least 30 minutes earlier. The Pakistani briefing states they observed Indian aircraft movement starting at 12:10 a.m., which aligns with this timeline. Moreover, this operation wasn't a surprise. As early as April 29th, Pakistan's defense minister warned that Indian military action was imminent, repeating this on May 5th. Unconfirmed reports say India had begun massing aircraft near the border days in advance, potentially around 180 combat aircraft. India made little effort to hide its intention to retaliate for the April 22nd terror attack in Kashmir. Some sources suggest India even informed Pakistan it would target what it considered terrorist camps, a move sometimes used to minimize misunderstandings. India's large-scale deployment likely served both as a deterrent show of force and a political signal, possibly hoping Pakistan would avoid retaliating. However, Pakistan clearly knew an attack was coming. It kept AWACS patrols and advanced fighters on high alert, ready to launch within minutes. India appeared to view the operation as a one-time strike, not part of broader conflict. Had it expected serious resistance, India would have reinforced the front, repositioned units, and launched from deeper air bases. Instead, aircraft took off from peacetime bases near the border, assembling strike formations just before the operation. Many Indian Rafale and participating squadrons are based only 100 to 200 kilometers from the border. The flat terrain of western India, from the Thar Desert to Punjab, offers excellent radar coverage. As Indian aircraft gained altitude, Pakistani AWACS likely tracked them. Pakistan operates 9 Swedish Saab Ariye platforms. Saab promotional materials claim detection of low-flying cruise missiles at 180 kilometers, with fighter jets yielding even stronger returns, possibly detectable at over 300 kilometers. As Indian sorties increased, Pakistani AWACS likely repositioned deeper inside its territory. Pakistan states its interceptor force began takeoff at 12:23 a.m. By 12:30 a.m., 4 Indian strike packages had formed and were launching attacks. Due to their proximity to the border, strikes began almost immediately. Pakistan identified 14 Rafales in the Indian force, approximately 39% of India's Rafale fleet, although this number is unconfirmed. Based on the number of ground targets, at least 12 Indian aircraft were likely configured for precision ground strikes. Missile remains, including Scalp, EG, and BrahMos, were found at impact sites. The BrahMos is large, with each Su-30 carrying just one. These payloads required several additional air-to-ground configured aircraft. India's SEAD involvement remains unclear, but would have required additional aircraft, perhaps 2 per package. Thus, 24 planes may not have been configured for air-to-air combat. That would leave 36 to 48 jets as possible fighter escorts, about 12 per group. According to Pakistan, it had 42 advanced aircraft airborne, likely mostly fighters. Pakistan insists no F-16s were used, possibly to avoid political fallout with the United States. However, Pakistan operates 20 to 30 J-10CEs, 40 JF-17 Block 3s, and approximately 130 older JF-17 variants. Not all are mission-ready, but the force composition shared seems credible. Here's what likely happened. Though initially outnumbered, Pakistan had 15 minutes to reposition its interceptors. Their mission shifted from deterrence to engagement once Indian strikes began. Pakistan focused on guaranteeing kills while minimizing its own losses, favoring a cautious approach. It concentrated fighters in the northern sector, achieving local numerical superiority by assigning 3/4 of its force to half of India's force. Indian aircraft focusing on ground strikes lacked flexibility. Though India reportedly scrambled another dozen fighters, they may have arrived too late. Pakistan officially claimed it downed 5 Indian jets. Its map shows missile hits 13 to 98 kilometers inside Indian airspace. While not all claims can be confirmed, both nations agree no aircraft crossed the border. Only missiles and bombs did. Pakistan claims to have shot down 3 Rafales and 2 Russian-made jets. Indian officials reported 3 separate crashes, initially attributed to accidents. While 1 crash could be coincidental, 3 suggest combat losses. French and American intelligence sources support these claims. One French officer confirmed a Rafale loss, with more under investigation. U.S. officials told Reuters at least 2 Indian aircraft were down. A minimum of 2 to 3 aircraft losses seems likely. Crash site videos and images emerged, mostly in the north. One possible Rafale wreck was spotted further south but is unverified. When aligning reported crash sites with claimed missile hits, some correlations emerge. Some wreckage locations lie closer to the border, suggesting hits during attack runs, while others lie further back, indicating losses during retreat. This fits known strike and escort mission profiles. Rafales, after releasing scalps or hammer bombs, would have quickly turned back, while escorts stayed longer. In terms of range, most claimed hits fall within plausible missile engagement distances. Losses of northern MiG-29 and Su-30 jets seem credible. A Rafale allegedly hit 100 kilometers deep seems doubtful due to lack of evidence. Another Rafale reportedly hit further south appears more feasible. For these engagements to happen, Pakistani fighters would have had to fire missiles from relatively close to the border, a dangerous tactic. A jet retreating at Mach 1.8 is very hard to hit. Pakistan's PL-15 missiles, used by J-10s, feature dual-pulse motors, allowing them to reignite mid-flight for extended range. In contrast, Indian AMRAAM C-5 missiles are single-pulse and smaller, slowing significantly beyond 40 kilometers. The PL-15 benefits from modern electronics, potentially carrying up to 70% more fuel. Its advertised range is 145 kilometers, typically against subsonic targets. At impact, it may retain speeds of Mach 1.25, enough to hit unaware targets. Crucially, Indian Rafales may have lacked data link capability to share battlefield info with other aircraft or AWACS. This could have hurt situational awareness. Rafales have threat detection systems, but these may not have recognized the PL-15's ASA radar, especially since it was used in combat for the first time. Pakistan's ARI AWACS may have guided J-10s to target and provided missile updates mid-flight. If J-10s kept their own radars passive, Rafales may not have detected them. By the time warning signals arrived, possibly just 30 kilometers out, it may have been too late. Pakistan's briefing even claims to have intercepted a Rafale squad leader radioing for a missing wingman, unaware of the attack. No Meteor missile use was mentioned, perhaps because Indian pilots didn't receive alerts in time. Some missiles missed, remains were found in India, but others hit. Rafales are highly advanced, but even they, along with older MiG-29s and Su-30s, may have struggled to detect these stealthy, high-speed threats. This air battle likely unfolded due to India's flawed strategic assumption that Pakistan wouldn't respond militarily, planning for a limited punitive strike, not a real war scenario, underestimating Pakistan's radar, AWACS, and missile capabilities. Lack of real-time coordination and broader military preparedness, Rafale was not at fault. It remains a top-tier fighter. But in modern air warfare, it's radars, data links, formation tactics, and missile performance that decide outcomes. This battle proved that long-range targeting and interception are no longer theory. They are reality.